Hey, Andrew Masters here. Welcome back to another video. I have encountered a problem that I think maybe you have encountered as well, which is over the last couple of years, I've been acquiring more gear for the studio, and I've been using these really cool racks from Fox called Xylo racks. They're 13 rack spaces per rack. They're like $1,000 each rack. And I now have a situation where I have too much gear and not enough rack space. And the design of this rack is taking up too much space within the room. So I'm going to try these racks that I keep seeing in my Instagram ads from Gator, which are $299 racks. The question is, are they gonna be any good? Before we get into it, I wanna thank Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. So if you wanna check out these very affordable studio racks, I'm gonna put a link to them down in the description, and let's get into the video. A little note here, I'm not gonna get rid of these racks. If you've seen my setup before, I mix with a lot of outboard gear in the desk so I can reach it, but I am fully capped out, and I'm probably gonna try and use these two racks and jimmy them together and make some sort of mastering style desk with the racks on each side. Yeah, it's excessive, completely unnecessary, but here we are. But the first thing I'm gonna do is actually build the new racks so I can look at the height and stuff. So if I need to change anything with this panel behind me or any of the logistics of the room, I can do that before I start taking equipment out, because got sessions, we gotta be up and ready. Okay, quick little update here. I've got everything out of the box, and I'm so far pretty impressed. I want to show you. There's basic supplies here. We got the wood, which honestly, outside of the sort of fake finish on it, is legit thick, solid plywood. Very, thick stuff. We got the two sides, top and bottom, and then it looks like there's a little lip that goes down at the bottom. We've got the casters here. We've got other supplies. These are pretty good. We've got the hinges. I think that's for, I guess that's for the little bottom shelf thing. And this is all standard good hardware. So the worst thing about it so far is just this, whatever sort of fake colored finish thing. But it's not that bad, and it's not too far away from this color that I already have in here. And then the height should be pretty similar to the actual racks I already have, but without that extended front here. So we'll buy back some of this front space. Anyway, I just wanted to show pre-assembling one what comes in the box. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this one together, hopefully not screw it up, and then put the other two together and see how they feel. All right, yeah, this is it, check it out. So casters, pretty sturdy, actually surprisingly sturdy. I have some other cheaper stuff that is not as sturdy as this. 12U, slide angle, you got this little drawer kind of thing. I think it's even like a slow close, yeah, look at that. And on the back here, cables theoretically run through there. I'm gonna have too many cables. They're just gonna have to run through the top. Nice and narrow. Literally the same height as the racks that I have, but not as deep into the room. So, voila. Now I just gotta build the other two, and then I can start. I don't know if I'm gonna get this done tonight. Okay, so now I have put together the other three Gator racks. I will say they look pretty good. I have sticker shock from the price and the quality of the finish. The number one downside so far is just, it's sort of a faux laminate wood finish, but the build is surprisingly good. They're all consistent, so they all look nice together and fit sort of like one countertop, which is pretty cool. And again, they're not nearly as deep as the previous rack, so it's actually gonna fit nicely up against the wall, I'm hoping. Next, what I have to do is take out the equipment from the old racks, disconnect everything, and then start re-racking everything into these new racks. I've got some of the equipment taken out of here, and just looking inside of these racks is starting to get my thoughts going about how different this is going to be. This is the Xylo rack here. You can see how deep it goes in this rack. This is like pretty deep, 2.5, maybe 3 feet deep. Now, if we look at this, this is way less deep. Now, again, this is literally the reason why I'm switching, because I need it to not stick out. Look how far that sticks out. And then this one is literally half. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in the back and how much cabling is going to be hanging out versus when it's all contained into this rack. We'll see how that goes, but it's just sticking out too much into the room and chewing up a lot of space. You can see that the xylos are designed to be modular, so you can like weave cables through them, and then these are all their own single things, but the backs are all open, so yeah. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so now I have spent approximately a full season of Severance and a full season of Tires on Netflix taking this equipment apart and re-racking it and starting to reconnect all of the equipment in these new racks. I'm very happy with how they look in the new racks. The footprint of them is so much smaller. I mean, there is actually more space in the room. It really feels like there's a lot more space in the room, and it feels like there's way more stuff, which is really trippy when that happens. And because these are all three on casters, I can easily move them out from the wall, get behind them, and connect everything and actually sit back there. Because these are vertical oriented racks, it's much easier to actually make the connections to the equipment because it's equal on both sides. And since the entire back is exposed, it is a little bit easier to connect things between each other. Now that everything is finally connected in here, it's pretty good. I have to say, I am amazed. I have worked very hard over the years to come up with this system of how everything in this studio is routed and connected, because I disconnected every DB25, made piles of everything, every power cable, and I was able to just look at the DB25, know exactly where it was getting plugged into, plug it in, turn everything on, and everything showed up where it was supposed to, which is a miracle. Here's my thoughts on these racks. Is they're for sure worth the money. $299 is like impossible to beat. If you were to build this on your own, maybe you could do it for like $250, but this saves you the labor and going out and doing it and tools and time and all that. But I gotta say, man, making furniture is very difficult. Making physical products is very difficult, and getting it to a price point like that and having it not be garbage is very, very difficult. So clearly this company has figured that out. This is nice. And now having the difference between the previous racks and these racks is excellent, primarily because of the floor space and having more rack spaces. And I think the consensus here in the studio is that it's much better. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel for more weird studio related content like this. If you're doing some stuff in your studio and you want to book a call with me to ask some questions, I'd be happy to chat with you. You can do that on my website, andrewmastersmusic.com. Thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you in the next one.